Good evening and welcome to Riker's Beard Live. This week, we're joined by this fantastic gentleman who appears to be some sort of Superman fan. We can talk at length about Superman, but that's not why we're here.
That's not why we're
It's
here.
not why we're here.
No, this is going to be a fun episode for the Portsmouth Comic Con Podcast. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. We've got James and Richard from USS Riker's Beard. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having us, Luke.
Yeah, no, look at that. He's got it all going on. This I'm looking forward to. This is going to be a fun chat. I've been informed you are going to be attending Portsmouth Comic Con. There's going to be a Star Trek presence there, which is something that some say may have been missing over the years, but you're going to be putting a change to that. So if you can, share a bit about Riker's Beard, gentlemen.
Should I start, Richard? So Riker's Beard's been around now for about 12 years. It formed after the first big Star Trek convention that happened in this country for a long, long time, which was called Destination Star Trek, and that was in 2012 in the Excel Center. And we, because there hadn't really been any sci-fi or Star Trek conventions for a long, long time before that, this was the first time that you could connect with people in advance by social media. And so we actually sort of had quite a group going on, and I turned up to the hotel with a very modest version of our bridge, the very first version that we built, and had it in the hotel. And actually, a lot of people said our hotel was the best thing about the entire event. So we sort of built on that. And when it came back 2 years later, we'd completely rebuilt that bridge to be fully immersive. It's a much bigger thing. It had a transporter room as well and a captain's chair. So that's now 10 years old. Pretty old wood now, but we've expanded it from time to time and we've taken it to quite a few events. Our biggest event has probably to date been Destination Trek in 2023, wouldn't you think, Richard? Which was Birmingham.
Yes, yeah, that was an experience. Yeah.
We had to lug all of our gear, the furthest we'd ever taken it all the way to Birmingham, because we're in southeast Kent, so we're on the south coast as well. We took our bridge, our transporter, and our full-size shuttlecraft to that. And what people were confused by is the fact we said, no, you don't have to pay us anything. We're free. Take as many pictures as you like. And they like that, so we've been invited back again and to other events, including Portsmouth.
Look at that. There's the plug right there that the guys at Portsmouth Comic Con were looking for. Yes, I've seen what you bring to these events. It's impressive to say the least, and we will get talking about those sets momentarily. But for you, gentlemen, where did your clear love for Star Trek begin?
If you want to do that one first.
Yeah, I mean, I was going through puberty when TNG aired, and season one of The Next Generation, those tight outfits were just incredible. In particular, Marina Sirtis as Deanna Troi, couldn't get enough of it. And this is something now that I've moved on, and you recognise with your children. I wanted to get my children to Star Trek, especially my son. So, yeah, we went straight into Voyager season 3 when 7 and 9 popped up.
And that's that's how sort of these shows can be a part of our lives. We want to not enforce that onto our next generation, as it were, but we want to enforce that love across down the family trees.
I mean, I'm jesting, of course. I mean, it's what gets you hooked. Everyone kind of has a reason why they start watching, but be it for the action, be it because it's space. But why do we keep watching? Why is Star Trek remain? Why is it so popular? And it's, of course, it's the message. It's where I think Star Trek differs from Star Wars. Star Trek makes you want to be the best version you can of yourself. You want to fit in with that utopia where the human race really are quite lovely to each other all the time, and you want to have a place in that, so it makes you want to behave in a nice way.
Well, you want to live in a universe where they've done away with material wants and everybody's objective is just to be the best version of themselves that they can, rather than a universe that's all pew pew pew, look at my laser sword.
So basically, communists.
Space communists.
There's
Luxury
a lesson,
communism,
a lesson
yes.
in every episode. We like that. And that's clearly, I see what you two wonderful guys are bringing that passion to not only your show, but to conventions up and down the country. There are conventions around the world. Have you visited those ones as well?
I mean, I went to the States once, and I went to the Star Trek Experience, not a convention. I don't know if you may have been aware of that. In the Las Vegas Hilton, they had
an
experience you could go to. It was incredible. And there's a sequence that I won't spoil the surprise of how it was done, but you were stood in a room, and the next thing you know, you're in the transporter room on the Enterprise, and you're rushed through corridors and onto the bridge. It's an incredible thing. very sadly gone since 2008. I think they closed it down. So nothing like it ever since.
Or maybe you can bring that back somehow over the years now that the Riker's beard seems to be getting bigger and better. What does it love, though, that you guys both love about conventions and sharing your love of Star Trek with the world?
Well, I think there's a number of stories that we can have, and I think it's for me, I think it's a safe space for people. Star Trek convention. Been to other conventions; they're all lovely, sci-fi ones in general, but in particular, the Star Trek ones are a safe space for people who may struggle not being around that sort of people all the time. So, the funnest places tend to be in the bar, or in the communal areas, that sort of thing. And you get to see so many people's dreams and lives become complete. There's a wonderful time. James and I witnessed a chap, and he was he was wearing a leather jacket that said "I love William Shatner," and he had like this William Shatner tie on, and these William Shatner socks, and this tattoo of William Shatner on his arm, and he was just, I think he liked William Shatner.
Yes.
And he was just getting into an elevator as we were leaving the elevator, and then we heard a "hold the elevator." And William Shatner gets into the elevator with this guy. This guy's face was like, and then we just saw the doors close.
Yeah, what was Shatner's face?
We saw
like?
Shatner turn to him and say, "Nice shirt,
nice
Oh,
shirt."
of course, yeah. Hopefully, he got some royalties for that shirt, bless him. But wow, yeah, quite the moment. So over the years, I'm assuming you've met quite a lot of the Star Trek world. Do you have a favorite actor or actress or creator of the series that you've met?
I think our interview with Chase Masterson is probably our favourite.
Yes, that's true. I mean, the difficulty we had was that Chase Masterson had obviously fallen in love with Richard, and the interview just became embarrassing. Because of the fact she plainly just wanted to invite him for a drink.
Just wanted me.
Yeah. But no, she was great fun to talk to. She was lovely.
She was really good fun, actually. A lot of the actors are generous with their time. Some are obviously more pleased to be there than others, which is fair enough. And Chase Masterson was obviously very pleased to be in our company. She does a wonderful work for charity as well. She has an anti-bullying charity that she promotes at the conventions and raises money for. She's just a lovely human being.
The Be Kind initiative, I think it's called.
Be Kind initiative, yeah. So I think Chase Masterson's probably my favourite. Yours, James?
I think that's probably right. Although Vaughan Armstrong, he was great fun when he came into the bar with us one evening, and he just spent the whole evening with us. And then he came onto our bridge and he sat in the captain's chair. And he's actually the only Enterprise captain we've had sit in our chair, because he was very briefly in command of the Enterprise in one episode of Enterprise itself. But we're still trying to collect more. I mean, our ultimate is obviously Jonathan Frakes, but Mr. Frakes, because he is a very, very busy director, has a tendency to cancel a lot of events.
Yeah. Other commitments. Many commitments.
We see that quite a while. Other commitments, sadly, and things out of their control, they say. But there we go. But let's talk about this set and your props and everything that you are creating and bringing along to Portsmouth Comic Con. Where did this sort of a hobby just take over and you started bringing it along to conventions?
Well, I mentioned earlier that we started in 2012, and I was lucky enough to have a friend who worked for a specialist printing company. And I said, look, could you create, if I asked you to, these, what are called LCARS graphics? That's the name of the computer system used on most of the Star Trek series. And they're basically backlit graphics. So in the 80s when they were produced, they looked incredible. And it was quite believable these were actually touch-sensitive computer panels doing things, where in fact what they were black and white film transparencies with the white bits coloured in with coloured gels and backlit from behind. And basically we just took that process, and I managed to get all 5 of the Enterprise D bridge stations printed out at sort of a metre wide and backlit. So we had those in the bar at the hotel, and it looked so fantastic. I thought, well, look, I can do better than this. So I did. And I built it up to a full size, 8 foot tall, what is it, about 25 foot long set. And then I had the captain's chair built, which was an absolute pain, I have to tell you, because trying to get schematics for it, there weren't any. And I spent hours and hours and hours looking at it on screen and getting screen grabs and measuring it and so forth. And I could not reconcile the measurements for many months. I spent hundreds of hours on it. And the reason I couldn't reconcile them is because the prop kept changing because people had apparently kept stealing it every year on the TV show. So they had to keep replacing it. And therefore, I was looking at different versions and trying to work out why I couldn't make all these. Anyway, long and the short of it was we managed to get it built, and it is the centerpiece, Luke, of our set. So when people do come and see our stuff, the one thing they really, really want is to sit in the big chair.
I'll just chime in the experience, which is what people are looking for, is obviously the photograph. People like to get the photo, but it's what brings it together. All the hard work James has been doing on the set, but when you stand there and the backdrop's behind you in the captain's chair there, and we have speakers as well thumbing the warp engines, and when it all comes together, you can stand there and think, yeah, I'm on the Enterprise. It really does feel like it. Once it's all together and the speakers are thrumming, it's just incredible.
It sounds like a truly immersive experience. I mean, and that's something that I think more and more conventions around the world are bringing. Yes, it's great there to meet up with friends and see cosplayers and buy whatever you're there to buy for. But when you have these photo exhibits and experiences and moments where you can really lose yourself and get transported onto that ship to be part of that scene, for fans and diehard fans of that series and that fandom, it's a beautiful thing that you've been doing over the years. Have you had any moments where you've seen people and thought, this is a special moment, let's take this in?
I think most fans when they... Oh, yes. So one of the things we do is the Riker's Beard musical interlude.
Wait a minute, now we're talking.
This is where James and I perform music artistry for the masses, and you should see people's faces light up. We'll be doing this at Portsmouth, and we encourage everyone to join in with the sing-along.
The Riker's Beard sing-along, yes.
Yes, James plays the triangle, I play the guitar. We encourage everyone to get the lyrics up of the songs we're doing on their phones and have a sing-along with us.
Perfect. The perfect way to spend any comic convention. I like that. What is it though that you're excited for the people of Portsmouth to see this year? You're going to be bringing obviously your event and your passion to the Portsmouth Comic Con. What are you excited to see about bringing it down to the South Coast?
Wow, we've got lots of friends in your area, as you know. So
yes, we must say hello to Sarah, Vicky, Carol, and Sam, the Trekkie girls.
Yes, Sarah, we go way back to school, in fact. And now we both work together, and our sort of lives have sort of entangled together, where I found out about the Trekkie girls and found out about you wonderful guys and the fact that you're coming to Portsmouth Comic Con. So it's all connected there. So yes, hello, Sarah and the Trekkie girls, who again may be making an appearance on the Portsmouth Comic Con podcast to talk about that fandom as well. So it's a fun event, and I'm looking forward to all you coming down, and yes, seeing all your friends and family down here as well.
I think we actually came down to the one last year. We weren't guests or anything of that kind. We just came down for the weekend and had a look around. I think because I wore my TNG uniform, I think I saw only two other people in Star Trek outfit altogether. So we're rebalancing it because there was Star Wars everywhere.
Yes, more Star Wars than you could shake a stick at.
Yeah, there was a lot of Ghostbusters. In fact, they're doing that as well, I noticed, because I've been invited to that separately. I've gone, well, no, I can't do both.
You can mix and match. There's a good collaboration there going on. But yeah,
I think we're hoping that as Star Trek is going to be represented, maybe a few more people will turn up in their uniforms.
Because they will get the photo op. So that we would hope that they'll be, yes.
It's something that's been missing, I would say, from the event. I mean, it's hard to accommodate every single passion, but Portsmouth Comic Con has been doing well with that over the years, but they've been trying each year to add something new and make it better for next year. And I think there has been talk that there hasn't been much Star Trek, so they're making a change of that. So if we could have a Star Wars and Star Trek battle off, as it were, I'd certainly turn up.
Well, Luke, I think you know what happens in that scenario, don't you? I mean, the stormtroopers start shooting at the red shirts, they miss, but the red shirts die anyway.
Well, let's change the narrative. Let's change the narrative there, James. Let's get on that. But it's going to be fun to see, as I love just being at a con and seeing so many different characters from different worlds and just getting on with each other. So I'm looking forward to seeing possibly characters not from the world of Star Trek being on the bridge and being in the captain's chair. So it's going to be a fun way.
Yeah, we've had many doctors
Well, I've got a fantastic picture of me in the command chair, and I've got the 5th and 7th Doctor Who's sitting either side of me, and that's just a fantastic photo. And I probably should have paid somebody some money for that, but no, they were just coming past, and I grabbed their agent. Said, "Can you see here?"
We've had the cast of Red Dwarf on the bridge as well.
Hmm.
I've had Sophie Aldred sitting on my knee in the captain's chair, which was fun, wasn't it, James?
Yes, fun for you. Yeah.
We also had that.
Darth Vader and loads of stormtroopers.
We also had that celebrity, and we didn't know who she was, that had a bodyguard with her. Do you remember? We still don't know who she.
Wow, that's some star power.
Well, she must have been from one of these reality love programs or whatever it is. Okay. But yeah, we still don't know who she was. She was very pleased to be on the set, though.
Well, that's nice. That's nice for her, at least. But I said it's always fun when we get those photo ops as well, and I am looking forward to taking a few photos there, and perhaps we can have some interviews in the chairs and walking around the set as well. I'm looking forward to that. Now, let's talk a little bit about your live shows that you do for your fans around the Star Trek community. I have watched a few. I'm enjoying definitely the chemistry that you both have. When did this live show begin?
Well, in most part, this is down to our friend Dan, who does the Trekkies Guide to the Galaxy. And when COVID started, he said, "Well, let's get together each week and let's do a show. It's an excuse for us to get together as much as anything and have a chat, and we'll put it out there and see if anyone watches it." And it spiraled unexpectedly. I think it was because there wasn't a lot going on, and we got a lot of invitations to do our show as a virtual convention. So we were being broadcast around to thousands of people around the United States and all sorts of places. And it just kind of went from there, really.
Yeah. And we've carried on doing it. And our audience has possibly reached 5, maybe 6 people.
I think 6 or 7 people watched it last week.
Yeah.
I mean, my particular...
It's going to be 7 this week, boys. 7 this week.
Well, one of the things we enjoy very much about it is the fact that obviously you'd like to talk about Star Trek on a Star Trek show, but when there's not a lot of Star Trek going on, we fill in with entertainment, which is what we became very good at doing during COVID, playing games, reminiscing old episodes, that sort of thing, and strangely not talking a lot about Star Trek, which when they had the convention in Birmingham during the writer's strike, and they said no one can talk about Star Trek. Well,
we're the guys for you. Look,
you guys are perfect. Yeah,
we're you guys, and we did panel after we did the Riker's Beard musical interlude. We did
Mr. and Mrs.
martial arts demonstration. We did Mr. and Mrs. We were the whole weekend. We were there keeping people entertained.
That is how one creates content in the best way. To just completely avoid the source material and just bring what you know. Musicals and fighting. Fantastic. What a team up. I'm looking forward to seeing definitely elements of that at the show. Clearly as I said, the chemistry between the two of you is fantastic.
Well, I don't think we're not hosting any panels or anything at Portsmouth, are we?
We haven't been invited to.
Not yet.
If the guys at Portsmouth want us to, we're going to be there. So
that's it. Well, I'm sure. I mean, you've got John from the wonderful Express FM who will be hosting their Speakers Corner, where they have live panels throughout the whole weekend. And I'm sure John would love to speak with you guys about what you're bringing, because this passion, I must say, and again, this electric chemistry between the two of you has been fun. So how long have you two both known each other for, going back those years?
We met on the internet, didn't we?
Yes, on Grindr.
Grindr.
Yeah. Wow. No. Actually,
I was looking for a grinder.
It was a wrong Google search. It was an incorrect Google search.
What it was 2014. I auctioned off a transporter console. So from our transporter set, there was a full-size, meter-long control panel, all backlit, that I auctioned off for charity, and we got Cole Meany to sign it. So he was Chief O'Brien on The Next Generation, and better known perhaps for Deep Space Nine. But that went up for auction, and Richard bid, and he didn't win. But nonetheless, after that, we met.
He said, "Look, I appreciate you bidding on this, but how am I going to get it to you?" I said, "Well, I live just up the road from you." Really? Yeah. So yeah. And then we met up for a drink in a wine bar.
Yes.
Wearing a red carnation. Look at that. Fantastic. The power of the internet. And I think that's one of those special things about it, is that so many relationships now are made via social media or bidding for props and auction sites.
And I did get my coffee bean grinder. I've just made James a coffee with it. He said it's the best coffee he's ever had.
Look at that.
It's very nice coffee.
Circle. Now, you said you brought some props along. You brought some bits for show and tell. What have we got?
Well,
What's going on?
Not so much props, but some of our merch.
Merch?
Let's see your merch first.
Well, so basically, because as you can imagine, Luke, building all this stuff isn't free.
No.
And it costs a lot of wonga to actually achieve it. We
Of
do
course.
from time to time sell a bit of merchandise to help fund the materials cost. So the biggest thing we've got at the moment is, do you want to hold that up to the camera? There you are. This is the current version of the Riker's Beard magnetic comm badge.
Hello. Very swish.
So that's full metal. If you can see it closely enough, you'll see our logo in the middle there, which is the logo you see on my chest here.
Yes.
And that has a magnetic backing, if Richard shows you that. So we designed that so instead of all the badges that historically have little pins that stick into you and ruin your clothes, we put a super duper magnet on the back so you can move it around. And therefore you can frame one like that really easily.
Look at that. This is a well
thought out the magnet on the back.
Look. I mean, there's one thing. I am a lover of pins, but as you say, they do tend to fall off now and again. And the backings aren't always safe. So love a pin board. They always help. But the magnet, very technological. Good thinking.
See, the original versions we had, so I'll show you the back. That's you can see the sort of standard pins that stick on through. So before the magnetic one, Richard, I don't know if you want to show that up close to the camera. These are our previous run of comm badges.
Okay.
So we had the special Riker's Beard red, the section 31 style black, and the standard silver badge in the next generation first contact onwards style. The one you're seeing there is the TNG. So I don't tend to see that one around very much anymore. Everybody likes that design, but we thought we'd go backwards a bit and go back in time to that one.
Well, we do like variant pins, and anything where someone collects something and there's a variant, you have to get the whole set. One of those. Well,
that was the point. Yeah, before that we did little round ones, and here's again, I don't know if you can hold that close to the camera because I'm too far away. We had some little round ones.
Oh.
And we had those in different colours, and there were gold, maroon, and blue, so the same as the uniforms. And if you bought all three of those, you could then also have the silver one. We don't have any more of those.
Limited run.
Limited run.
We've got plenty of these Riker's Beard yo-yos.
Of course.
Yeah, there's loads of these left. If anyone wants a Riker's Beard yo-yo.
Yep, I will be there at the con day one after that yo-yo. Thank you very much.
But there's only one remaining of these Riker's Beard baseball caps.
Look at
that. I mean, Luke, I don't know if you've spotted it yet. I'm sure you have, but if you turn our number upside down.
Oh, boys. I knew you'd be special. I had no idea how much we would get on, but now I do. Oh,
and yes, the final thing that we've got that's actually sort of if people want to buy them to help us out with some cash, we have the Riker's Beard Isolinear chips. So again, Richard, because I can't quite reach.
I do like, well, your attention to detail clearly is there. Whether it's you with your merchandise or these set pieces that you are creating. Again, we talked about how you managed to get the chairs right in the end because there's so many different variations over the years. How has the community of sort of the internet and Reddit groups and forums have people come together to help you out to say, actually, that's a little bit off color. You need to change that.
We haven't had criticism of that kind, really. People have been unfailingly complimentary about the chairs. And I've very often had people reach out to me and say, could we buy it or could you give us the plans? And I've gone, do you know what? I spent so much time and effort drawing those plans and designing them. I don't really feel like I want to give that work away. So no, because otherwise my chair won't be unique, will it? Because people will make copies.
Very true. So that's not only the passion for the show now, but the passion that you've put into that, to the work, to those endless hours of you going through frame by frame, getting all the correct colors and dimensions. What is one of your favorite pieces in your own collection of Star Trek memorabilia?
Mine's definitely.
Oh, there's movement. Okay.
He's going to the guitar.
We're going to the guitar already. The sing-along will begin shortly. Brace yourselves.
This is the Riker's beard guitar.
Okay.
You can see. But,
Wowzers. Now, will this be coming along to the con, or have you got...
Yeah.
Look at that.
There we are.
Goodness me. As pieces go, yep, that would be the, say, the top of your collection.
This will...
But that's what I love about it. It's elements of a thing that you love. I mean, I got a few random pieces in the collection over the years, whether that be Superman or whatever, but it's the pieces that mean something a bit more. So clearly, yeah, you've got that love of music as well, Richard, which is fantastic.
I have a couple more pieces, but I'm going to have to swing the webcam round. So bear with me a second.
No, please do. Please do.
While he's doing that, Luke, I'll tell you my favourite piece of my collection. I don't have it here. Is my tricorder. And this is what's called a roddenberry.com tricorder. It has all the flashy lights and blinkies on it and the sound effects. It's made of metal. It costs an absolute fortune, and you can't get them anymore.
Well done.
But I'll probably have that at Portsmouth because it is a fantastic piece of kit.
Now, unfortunately, the webcam lead isn't quite long enough.
That's right. I can see what's going on. And again, beautifully displayed. A wonderful collection. And now I can't be biased. I can see what's down there in the bottom right-hand corner as well. Yeah. And I knew you would be friends, Richard. There was just something about us that I knew we'd get on. Fantastic Henry Cavill there of Superman. Wonderful stuff. Anyway, so
Yes, so that's Neelix. That's I painted that one myself, that bust, and got Ethan Phillips, the actor, to sign the plinth.
Wow.
And then we have a teacup, China teacup from the Enterprise D. And we have the Enterprise D and the Enterprise E. Again, the webcam's not really long enough.
That's fine. We send some pictures over. We can share some pictures when this episode goes out. But I mean, that's something that we love to do. We love to share our passions. That's what's so special about Comic Cons now, and the fact that they happen so frequently up and down the country and all over the world. We can meet up with friends, we can find new friends, and we can find new fandoms as well. I'm especially excited to come along just to see you guys interact with the public. It's going to be a very, very fun time.
We normally start drinking about noon.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's fine. Once the sun's over the Guildhall, I mean, there are once the con closes, there's Guildhall Walk, just literally a few steps away from Portsmouth Comic Con. So there will be plenty of time for drinks afterwards and during the event, I'm sure. But
the guys have very kindly, as they've invited us down to bring everything, are putting us up in the hotel. So
wonderful.
Which hotel we got?
Oh, it's not the Queen's Hotel that we like the look of the most.
The Queen's Hotel, fantastic hotel.
I know it's a nice hotel. I said, don't tell them we're not doing it unless they put us up in the Queen's Hotel, and he didn't have the balls.
Well, never mind. And I only like the hotel. There are nicer hotels in Portsmouth, of course. But the Queen's Hotel...
Well, we're not expecting to spend time in the hotel. We're expecting to spend it in the bar.
It'll be nice and busy. And the bar as well. An episode of Mr. Bean was filmed at the Queen's Hotel many year ago. So that's one of my favourite things about Portsmouth. Many things, but that 2 episodes of Mr. Bean were filmed down here. And my sister had her wedding reception at the Queen's Hotel. And I asked for the same room Mr. Bean stayed in, found out that it wasn't actually there. It was just a set. So that dream was broken, but still very nice hotel. But yes, it's going to be a fun weekend. And what is it that you're hoping to get out of your time being here and exhibiting all your work?
Well, I mean, to be honest, Luke, we just love sharing our toys with people because for me, it's always every time I see someone sit in the chair and they realize that when they sit in it, not only is it incredibly comfortable, but it's also, there's stuff you can't see from the front. So all the consoles that Picard has in front of him, they're all there. All the buttons are there, and people sort of go, oh, they want to play with it. And I see their faces light up, and it just makes all the hard work. And from Richard's point of view, every single time we concuss him by knocking him out with a plank of something, it just makes it all worthwhile. So, so that's it, really. We get to enjoy other people's enthusiasm for looking at our stuff, and we're bringing it to a new crowd of people. So we're really grateful to Portsmouth for reaching out to us and inviting us down.
And yeah, I hope it's the first of many more conventions. As I said, more and more comic conventions are popping up around the country now. People are embracing that geeky and nerdy lifestyle. For years, as I'm sure you're both aware, it wasn't always sometimes a friendly environment to be in. But now, as you said, with that Be Kind initiative of people embracing fandoms and enjoying the things that bring them joy, Comic Cons can be a wonderful place. And that's why I'm looking forward to seeing everybody interacting with Riker's beard. It's going to be a fantastic time.
If, by the way, people who are watching have any suggestions for things they'd like to see from us, be it additions to the set or events they'd like us to do. So, for example, we've done the Riker's Beard musical interlude, Mr. and Mrs., all of these things.
And we are working on the song tune dance routine from the Three Amigos, performed by Martin Short.
My little buttercup has the sweetest smile.
Yeah, so we're working on that. We're not quite there yet, but we're working.
That's not bad though. For the timing, beautiful. Pitch, wonderful. You've got potential, boys. That's what we like. But it's going to be a fantastic weekend, gentlemen. In the meantime, though, where can people send these suggestions? Where can people find you online?
Oh, come on the show. Come on, every Sunday at 9:00. You can find us Riker's Beard live on Facebook and on YouTube. And we very much like people to come in. We love having new viewers. We love them to come on the show. When you comment, we ping your comments and we ping your messages up on the show as we broadcast live. So come on the show. Tell us what you'd like to see and when you'd like to see us and where you'd like us to go and what you'd like us to talk about.
Wonderful. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time today. There's going to be time for us to meet up in the future and probably have a drink at the convention, talk about the wonderful set. And I'm looking forward to interviewing there at the weekend as well on the 3rd and 4th of May of this year. So James and Richard, thank you very much for being on the Portsmouth Comic Con podcast.
Thank you.
Look after yourselves and each other.
Take care, guys.
Cheerio.